Good evening, or rather good night. This is George Tarayan, and I would like to present you with an abridged version of Amy Cuddy's Your Body Language May Shape Who You Are TED Talk. And I would like to start by saying that this is quite a challenging task and it should have been tackled by getting more familiar with the text and spending more time with it before attempting to present it. What I have done, however, is I've devised a plan of her speech, so it should be easier for me to go through it. And she started by telling us to pay attention to our body language, to how we sit and what we do. And if we watched our bodies closely, she claimed that it could significantly change the way our lives unfold. And this is quite a valid way to look at things because a lot of messages, a lot of things that we convey is through non-verbal communication, through some even handshakes or postures or winks, or sometimes an absence of handshakes can tell a lot of things as well. And we tend to make sweeping judgments and inferences based on these non-verbal signs, and sometimes you might decide to go on a date or not go on a date with someone, to hire or not hire someone based on how they carry themselves and how they look in terms of their posture and in terms of their non-verbal communication. And there has been a study based on Emmy's research of people, and it basically mostly on in terms of power and dominance, power and dominant non-verbal communication. And it's shown that people who feel powerful, they have high power postures, which is expanding themselves, and people who don't feel very well about themselves, they tend to close up and wrap themselves up. And she's decided to see how deep this goes and can you make it until you fake it, because she has seen her students underperforming when they shown low power postures most of the time, and overperforming or performing very well if they have shown high energy postures. So what they have done, they had people standing in high power postures or sitting in low power postures for 2 minutes, and then they would measure the levels of testosterone, the hormone of dominance, and the cortisol, the hormone of stress. And not surprisingly, with high energy levels postures, the testosterone would rise, the cortisol would decrease, and in low energy postures it would be the opposite, vice versa effect. So this was good, but they decided to see if it has any practical implications, and to test it in real life or close to real life situations. So they would have people again standing or sitting in a high and low power postures, and then having one of the most stressful job interviews possible, with the interviewers not showing any verbal signs of or showing any feedback at all, which is much worse than even having negative feedback or being screamed at and yelled at when you don't understand what person feels. And then these tapes were shown to different peoples, and obviously, not surprisingly again, people with high level postures before the interview, they performed much better because they were sure of themselves and they were just presenting themselves. And people with low level postures, they were, I'm not sure what they were trying. I might assume that they were trying to just to sell the some tipping points of the interview, but they would never be hired. That's what the people said. um, then Amy told her personal story, that she had an injury when she was in her late teens, and she felt like she didn't belong. She felt like she was an imposter. I'm sorry, through a lot of her lives. And one of her professors at university told her to fake it until she makes it. And that's what she did. She worked hard and she had some good luck and she worked hard more. And at some point of her life, she found herself being a professor, and she forgot about all the insecurities, or most of the insecurities she had. She didn't think about it. And she had a student approaching her and having the same situation. She was quiet during the whole semester, and they have grades for participation. And if she wouldn't participate, she would have a low grade. And she said, I can't participate. I cannot even imagine speaking out or standing out. I'm nobody. I don't belong. I'm an imposter. And that's exactly the way Amy felt. And she said, no, you can do it. You will do it. And the more you do it, the more you fake it, the more you make it. And she realized that she faked it so much that she didn't just make it, she became it. So apparently, if you fake it long enough, if you believe in it, you become what you believe. And that's actually the latest message, is that you can change your life in a meaningful way if you just do the power posture for 2 minutes a day, or tell yourself that you can do it, and you go and you just do it without analysis or without overthinking it. And another, so the first is try it, and second is share this message, because you never know who might need it and who might uh, really benefit it, and who might change the outcomes of their lives thanks to this message and thanks to you.